guys, and welcome to episode 368 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for April 9th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
It's been quite a few things going on this week, man. You know, you had your WrestleMania that happened.
Yes, that's true.
I had my NCAA tournament championships that happened, the women's and the men's. And congratulations to the, who are they? South Carolina. Yes, South Carolina girls won. They were the best team this year. So so a lot of people had predicted them to win. And congratulations to Kansas for beating North Carolina. So I was happy because I was like, I don't want North Carolina or Duke to win. And North Carolina beat Duke. So that's really bad for Duke. Like, they got beat North Carolina, Coach K's last home game.
Yeah.
And Coach K's last game ever.
Oh, wow. Was it Duke that people were talking about how they walked out without shaking people's hands?
Maybe. Oh, at least some of them. Maybe. I don't think all of them.
Yeah, I don't think it was everybody.
Yeah, it was everybody.
Sounded like it was
but it probably just
decent.
I think those kids, well, some kids I just saw this, they were crying, man. So
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to shake nobody's hand who's crying, yo. I just don't feel right because I feel like, I gotta hug this guy, man. But then I just beat his ass. And it's like I don't know. It's just
my jersey's
weird.
sweaty enough; it doesn't need tears on it too.
Yeah. The school's not that far apart. You know, you can go shake hands later. But anyway, yeah. That's like if you're like a rival team. I mean, that's gonna be bragging rights for a while for North Carolina. So that was sort of good to say, even though I don't really like North Carolina anymore. So, so I was happy Kansas won. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else happened outside of sports this week. I can't think of anything. So I just go down list. NBA, only 2 more games left. Excuse me, as I'm speaking right now.
Oh, wow.
It should be over by Sunday. Sunday should be the last day. No games. After that, no more games. We're going to start doing playoffs, the play-in games, I should say. Wizards are officially out, as I said last week. Yeah. But the Lakers are officially eliminated out the playoffs. That is unbelievable.
No.
I did not see this coming. Well, I saw it coming recently, but back in a few weeks ago, I think I even said the Lakers going to get in the play-in game because all these teams suck behind them. Yeah. But I guess they were like, we got to suck even harder. And that's what they did, apparently. Because I think one, I forgot what the record is after the All-Star break, but it's terrible. And because those other teams were really bad, man. So I thought LeBron was going to be like, okay, he can win some of these games and stay afloat and stay in the play-in game. And they couldn't. Now, he got hurt the last few weeks, but that was already done, man. I mean, like, it was like, that wasn't going to help. It wasn't going to help them really get to the playoffs. And Anthony Davis came back, but that didn't help either. So, yeah, man, it sucks. And LeBron, if he doesn't play, I don't know if he has to play both of these games or I mean, it was a game yesterday, I think it was. So, I don't know. It's something that if you don't play a certain amount of games, you won't be able to get the scoring title because you got to play a certain amount of games during the season. And unfortunately, he's hurt, so he's not getting it. If he doesn't come, and I don't think he's going to play. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks that he can't get the scoring title because of the injury. But I think it's not worth it to go for it. Like some people were saying, like, all your people kept saying he was trying to stat pad and get the scoring title. See, you're wrong because he's choosing to stay out these games. But I'm just thinking that he's really hurt. I think if he could play, he would. And then maybe he can play with that injury he has. But I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's that worth it that much to me. Like, it's not worth going out there to get the scoring title for that. Even though it'd be nice to have, but whatever. I mean, he still had a great year. I mean, he himself had a pretty good year. It's just not a bad luck around him. I mean, it's partly his fault because he did pick the team, but he's older. Like you can't, like, he was hoping that Anthony Davis would be there. He'd be the guy to do it. And I didn't think this team was going to suck this bad. Like, I thought this team was going to be at least like number 3, maybe. But darn. Now the people are saying they're old. They say, yeah, this team was too old, man. But then somebody put out a stat though. and showed the Bulls the last year of the championship run for 1998. They were all in their 30s. Like the starting five and some players, some of the key players, they were all in like their 30s. And Jordan was like, what, 35, 36? I think now Rodman was 37. I never heard nobody say they were too old. I mean, now they probably did. Maybe as a little kid, I was really watching all the Sports Center. But I mean, they were number one and they won a championship. So some people are trying to compare, like, so why is this team too old? But they weren't too old. But it could be different factors. For one, maybe we need to stop looking at age. Maybe we should start looking at how long you played, too. Because LeBron came in when he was 18. So that's more tread on him, you know? And so that's different. Maybe it's not about, because Dennis Rodman came in late. He came in when he was like 25 in the league. So he came in a lot later, so he didn't play as many years as people who would be 37, like, playing. But I don't know. So that's why I don't know how that works. Like, if it's really the age, or is really, hey, you play the game
just miles
this long.
On the body.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. Or you're not taking enough drugs like Tom Brady so you can play forever. I don't know what it is, but yeah, Lakers are out. I'm happy. NBA's not happy because the NBA is in trouble. Because look, they do have the LA Clippers in there, but then they're playing game. So they can lose and not get to the playoffs. Then you have the Brooklyn Nets, who are in a play-in game. Now Brooklyn Nets are sort of good, kind of good. And they're really low seeds because of injuries during the season. So now it's going to be weird to see like them play a number 7 seed or a number 8 seed, even though that team is definitely better than what the seed they'll probably be. But potentially, though, they're still in the play-in game. They could lose. Potentially, they can lose in the play-in games and not be in the playoffs. Or either team can get to the playoffs but lose in the first round. And then that's 2 big markets gone. Like, there's no other bigger market out there. Right. I guess Chicago, and Chicago last. The Chicago Bulls are in the playoffs. But, yeah, that's it. Like, New York and LA will be gone. They could be gone early. And the NBA, oh my God, I'm really hoping, Daniel, that it is like Milwaukee versus Memphis. And even though Milwaukee has Giannis, Antetokounmpo is big, but he's still not the guy to draw in a lot of fans just to watch him. I think he still has to be against another star. I don't think he's there yet. I don't know if he's ever going to be there. I'm not sure. Like this, the type of dude like a LeBron James, like a Kobe, like a Jordan. I don't know if he's going to be that type of guy. So, or I'm trying to think of another worse team. I think anybody else. No, not Boston. Boston's probably another big market. So, but they're not as big as New York and LA, but they are more famous. They have more prestige because of their history. But yeah, I mean, you got the Warriors. They're okay. But they're still not LA. Like, it's good to see if the Warriors are playing against Brooklyn or something like that. That would be like, oh, that's huge. Or Warriors against Boston, I think will be decent for the NBA. Since if they can't get no LA or New York, Warriors versus Boston would be good. But I think Phoenix Suns are going to go. So I think I'm going to predict that the Phoenix Suns are going to play either Miami or Milwaukee. I haven't really decided. I'm going to say Milwaukee. I'm going to say it's going to be Phoenix and Milwaukee again. I don't want it to be that again. I want it to be the teams I kind of want to see. I do want to see Miami, maybe. I don't mind Phoenix going again, though. Like, I don't mind Phoenix winning this time. I mean, Chris Paul, I mean, he's done a lot for the league. So I wouldn't mind seeing him get a championship. And Miami, they're a good team. It's just that they haven't got the hype because for reasons. Like, I just don't hear them a lot. Well, because it's funny, you hear about the Lakers all the fucking time, even when they were losing. So that's kind of what takes away from these other teams. But yeah, I want to say, I think it's going to be Milwaukee and Phoenix again. All right. Anything else? Baseball started. Orioles had lost their first game. I don't know what the score was, honestly. I just heard they lost. Because I got the MLB TV because there was like a special with T-Mobile.
Yeah, I saw that.
And thing is, it's blackout for local teams, which I'm just this is what the government needs to work on. Like these blackout laws.
It's their fault to begin with.
These blackout laws are so stupid now. They should not exist now, especially with cable. With Oriole games being on cable now, they're not even on regular TV.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
There should be no blackout laws for cable like shows or anything. It should be that, okay, I paid, the value price is like $139.99 or something like that. Like, if I pay for this, I should be able to see every freaking game that I want to see. I shouldn't be like, oh, this game's in your area. Well, I would have bought your ass if I could just watch the game in my area. But anyway, yeah, damn government. I mean, sons of bitches. But yeah, like this is what they be working on. Okay, but anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I know the Orioles lost. I don't know what the Nats did. Like, I don't even know what the scores are really. Because I think I set my thing to my MLB TV to not spoil scores, just in case I want to go back and look at them. But that also prevents me from just looking at them at all if I just don't. So now I don't know what's going on. But I just watched some games, like some parts of games. I think I watched some of the Dodgers game. Dodgers was kicking Kyle's butt last time I saw it. Who else did I watch? I think I watched the Mets versus was it Phillies? Or no, Mets were playing the Nationals. I watched a little bit of that. But nothing really happening. I watched the Angels. I watched all the Angels because I want to see Shohei Ohtani. And he pitched well, but he only pitched 4.2 innings, though. But he gave up 1 run, but he pitched okay. But I stopped watching when he got out the game. So I was like, oh, that's all I wanted to see. And so, yeah, I mean, baseball started. I'll be watching it. And, of course, the game, MLB The Show is out now. I'll talk about that later. My predictions for this year, who I'm going to say? I'm going to say that the Dodgers are going to play against the... who the Dodgers are playing? The Dodgers are playing against... I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say the Angels are going to go this year. I have no reasons behind this. I don't know. I don't look at baseball like that to know. Really, I just know Dodgers have a lot of good talent. Because they got Freddie Freeman from Atlanta up there too for first base, and they got they're batting. I mean, their batting lineup is crazy. It's ridiculous, and they got some good pitchers. So, and the reason I pick Angels is just because they have been a disappointment for some years. They have these great players. They got Trout, who's like one of the best players in baseball, and now they got Shohei Ohtani, who's a two-way player who's actually damn good. Mm-hmm. But they still don't get to the playoffs. So I'm thinking like, hey, this could be the year. This could be the year they get to the playoffs and make a run. All right. So that's all I have. Masters is happening. Tiger Woods is playing the Masters. He's back, Daniel. I don't know how he's doing, though. He did okay, I think, on the first day. I think the first day he did all right. I think he did a 70. Was it 71? I think he's a 71. Now, okay, he's tied for 19th right now. So, but there's an American up front, Scheffler. Some guy named Scheffler. Yeah, I don't know none of these guys. I know Mickelson is not in there because of that. I think because of that Saudi thing he said.
Oh.
What did he say? I forgot what he said. He said something about something to do with Saudi Arabia, and people didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying to get a tournament in Saudi Arabia. Maybe that's what it was. And people were against it.
Interesting.
You should have asked Mr. Man, how did he do it?
You just go ahead with it. You don't care about what people say, apparently.
Yeah, but for him, see, he's a player, that's a little different.
You just say, I'm trying to make the world better because, if you let me do this, eventually women will be able to wrestle and drive cars.
Yeah, and soon we could get women's golf over there.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, so the Masters is happening. What else is happening? I think that's it. As far as sports. I don't know what's going on in hockey. I know the playoffs didn't start yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what you got, man?
Real quick, to jump back to baseball, because I had heard this the other day but hadn't looked into it. Did you see that the National League is doing DH now? Designated hitters?
No, I have not. I did not see that.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Holy shit. I didn't notice it. I watched some of the Dodgers game. I didn't pay attention to it. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good that they finally did that. I know the old fogies are, but you know what? They're going to die. Old people are going to die, so you don't have to worry about that.
I mean, there's like a level of, it's interesting when you have a pitcher who can also hit, but for the most part, it's pretty just comedic that they can't do shit, and you would much rather see some dude smash a home run, but...
It's nothing like, it's not like look at the pitcher's batting average is like a .100 something. And it's bad because they only play every 5 games. Right. So it's like, darn, you were that bad. You're doing bad a lot.
Just lay down that bunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, WrestleMania. Yeah, as you mentioned, that happened both Saturday night and Sunday night. They did the two-night thing again. I don't know how I feel about the 2-night thing. Honestly, like, it still went from 6 o'clock to 8 was the pre-show. Neither of these pre-shows had matches on them, which means essentially I could have not paid attention, although since I haven't really been watching the program, I thought, catch up on that stuff. But they always play the same packages during the show anyway, so I really need to just get away from watching these pre-shows if they're not going to have matches on them. But both nights still went from 8 o'clock to midnight, and that's just too late. Like, for me at least, that's too long, especially on a Sunday. Like Saturday, I can deal with, get up a little later on Sunday or whatever. But I gotta go back to work on Monday. I don't want to be staying up until midnight watching wrestling. That is maybe questionable. But I will say overall, as like one event, even though it was split between 2 nights, it was enjoyable. There wasn't really any particularly bad matches. I think there was some, I wouldn't say disappointing, but you basically got what you expected out of Roman and Brock Lesnar, and that was disappointing considering the fact that they were touting it as the biggest match ever because it was a unification match for the WWE title and the Universal title. Roman Reigns won that. Not particularly surprising there. But it really was just kind of a dud of a match. But the highlights really, the women's match, Becky versus Bianca, that delivered. Bianca Belair won that match. And that was probably match of the weekend for WrestleMania. The most fun match, though, admittedly, was Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. It was basically an episode of Jackass. They had a huge hand that slapped Sami Zayn. He got caught in a giant mouse trap. There was a boot mechanism that kicked Sami Zayn in the nuts. Wee Man slammed him. Like Hogan slamming Andre. Wee Man picked up Sami Zayn and slammed him. That was pretty good. Just overall, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of silly, stupid fun. All thoughts on Logan Paul aside, he actually was a pretty decent wrestler. Like, it seemed like he put in the work to actually pull off some moves. He looked pretty good in his match. Seems like they're going to have a match between him and The Miz going forward because they were teaming against the Mysterios on WrestleMania, but then at the end of the match after Logan Paul and The Miz won, The Miz turned on Logan Paul because apparently as part of like his contract with WWE, Logan Paul was like, yo, I want to come out of this a babyface. So they had Miz turn on him instead of Logan Paul turn on The Miz or whatever. I don't know if that'll work. It seems like everybody's commentary coming out of this weekend is pretty positive as far as what he was able to do in the ring. So maybe they do pull this off. It's kind of surprising considering how big of a kind of heel in real life Logan Paul and his brother are. But we'll see. No, people don't like them at all. They they hate him because for like the YouTube stuff, and then going into boxing and basically beating actual boxers. They've been shit talking that, like, you get these YouTube guys coming in and just their attitude towards quote unquote haters, I think pushes people even further away from them. So yeah, they don't seem great, but it's whatever.
I'm glad I don't live in that world. I know that.
Where you just don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
That's the best world to live in. Yeah. And then the kind of big thing on night one was the main event was Kevin Owens having his Kevin Owens show, kind of talk show segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That did involve turning into an actual match. It went for about 15 minutes too. Outside of the ring, Stone Cold took like a suplex on the concrete floor. It was pretty crazy. And of course, Stone Cold won that with a stunner. It was entertaining. I wasn't like blown away that Stone Cold was back, but it was fun. And that kind of played into the second night because Pat McAfee, who is now doing announcing on SmackDown, former, punter for the Colts, big radio guy, got a deal with, I forget which one of the companies, like DraftKings or something, because he's got a big YouTube channel. He's famously the guy that Aaron Rodgers was on the podcast with, talking about how he's,
I know.
Taking ivermectin or whatever. So he was having a match versus Austin Theory, who's a younger dude. In storyline, he is basically being raised by Mr. McMahon as like the next big thing. And Pat McAfee beat him. Pat McAfee's actually a pretty good wrestler. He seems like he's wanted to do this for a very long time. And the few matches that he's had in NXT were pretty good. So that was enjoyable. And then after that, he's basically like shit talking Vince McMahon because he just beat his star, and Vince McMahon takes his shirt off and challenges Pat McAfee to a match, which had originally been the rumors that he was going to have a match against Vince McMahon, but everybody was like, oh no, he's a 70-something-year-old man. That's not going to happen. So this actually happened. Austin Theory, of course, jumped him though. So he was basically defenseless by the time the match initiated, and Vince McMahon threw some like terrible punches and punted a ball into him hilariously badly. Vince McMahon is an old man and looked awful. But that was capped off with Stone Cold coming down as Vince McMahon and Austin Theory celebrate their defeat of Pat McAfee, and he comes out and stuns Austin Theory. And then it's like, oh, Vince, let's have a beer or whatever. And that, of course, leads to Vince McMahon getting stunned. But in the most Vince McMahon awful stunner ever, like if you're at all familiar with him getting stunned back in the day, they were always the worst. And this somehow became like even worse, because Stone Cold goes for like the kick to the gut. And instead of just leaning over to take the stunner, Vince McMahon like falls backwards into the ropes. And he's just all over the fucking place. So Stone Cold just trying to get him into the position to take the stunner was hilariously bad. And then the way he took it was even worse, because he just like crumples in a way that honestly I was kind of concerned that he might have gotten injured, because he's just like laying there with his eyes open staring at the ceiling. And then Pat McAfee comes in, Stone Cold offers him a beer. He also gets a stunner, which was pretty humorous because, if you get in the way, Stone Cold's stunning you no matter who you are. You should know this by now. But also it's a great moment for Pat McAfee, I'm sure. Other than that, those were kind of the highlights. It was, the other, I guess, highlight is Cody Rhodes' return to WWE. So all those rumors and speculation was in fact true. He has signed a contract with WWE. He came out in the whole Homelander-esque regalia. Same music from AEW, which is apparently music that he licensed, so he can absolutely do that. And he's pretty much Cody Rhodes from AEW in WWE, which might actually fit him better. And it makes sense, like looking back on it now with foresight. Like, of course he wanted to go to WWE. Like, the whole reason he built himself up in the way that he did on the indies and help found AEW is basically a way to make him have the worth that he needed for Vince McMahon to see him as a big star. A guy like Drew McIntyre kind of did the same thing, slightly to a lesser extent. He was very successful in the indies and came back basically transformed body-wise. But that put him in a position to win titles. And that's really what Cody Rhodes has always wanted, because his father was never able to do that. Dusty Rhodes never won the title in WWE. And I think Cody kind of has that chip on his shoulder that he needs that title to validate his career, his father's career, basically Goldust's career, his brother's career in WWE, and validate that they are, in fact, one of the pillars of wrestling. So it's honestly now, like, listening to him talk about it and the way he's talking about it, it's not surprising. The surprising thing will be how they get to him winning the title. Like, with Roman having both titles now, I don't see them giving that rub to Cody Rhodes. I don't see them having him beat Roman for either or both of those titles. There was speculation at one point that basically Roman would be like, oh, I don't care about this one title, and either throw it back to Raw, or Raw comes up with another new title as they've unified officially the other two belts. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know what would be better or worse. I know there's like a lineage argument for the WWE title being the one that predates all the way back to like Bruno Sammartino and the WWF or whatever, but that's more of somebody that cares a lot more about wrestling than I do, or a wrestling historian, or even like a guy like Cody Rhodes, who just, the lineage is a thing. The lineage, it is, that's the title that my father held but never won, because it was a fluke finish, or as we call it now, a dusty finish, ironically enough. So yeah, that's kind of the biggest stuff coming out of WrestleMania. Ronda Rousey lost to Charlotte, which I guess was a little bit of a surprise. I don't know if Ronda Rousey hangs around or comes back at all. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that she would come back just to lose, considering what it sounded like her feelings were towards wrestling and her being kind of a heel character in her last run. But we shall see, I guess.
Oh, I just saw that finisher. Yeah, it was awful. But did you see that promo though? Like people say, the editing team should deserve a reward, because it makes it look like it. Like, they edit out all the messed up stuff and look like
really?
It goes off pretty well.
Oh my goodness, I need to see that then. That's too funny.
But yeah, the only match I saw was the one with the little person came out under the mat.
Yeah.
Under I don't know who that was.
I think that was Wee Man. I think that was the Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville one. Because then didn't you say dude came out in a thong or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Chris Pontius.
Holy shit! Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Now I'm editing the podcast, so I'm not looking at everything. So I just that's what I turned my head. I saw a man wearing in a thong. Oh my god! I should have watched it then. I didn't realize it.
This does look much better. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like the clip they showed on Raw the next night. That must have been what it was.
Yeah, it probably was.
Vince McMahon, expert taker of the stunner. That's funny.
All right, so I guess we can get to what we've been watching. So, Did you watch anything else?
I've been watching some more Succession, but nothing that sinks in or I feel like is worth talking about right now. If you aren't also watching it,
Oh, okay. So I did watch. I'm caught up on Halo. I mean, it's been 3 episodes. I watched them all. I can say overall the show, I'm not hating it. Like okay. I'm not hating the show. Like I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure there's people who are fans of the Halo and they're like, oh, I don't like that we see his face all the time or something. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm not reading reviews or nothing on this, honestly. So I don't know what people are saying. The only person I've ever seen say anything was this guy on this guy I know from high school on Facebook. He wrote like how he's not watching this because of like he doesn't like what they did. I just saw something, he don't like it. But his taste in movies and stuff is horrible. So I'm like, I mean, not saying this is great, but I'm just saying like, whatever, man. I mean, he didn't like, I'm trying to think what he didn't like. Oh no, he thought the last Mortal Kombat was worse than the original Mortal Kombat.
Oh, really?
And I was like, how? I was like, that is not. That shit was horrible.
There's got to be like a level of nostalgia there.
He said that because it was so bad that it's funny to watch or something. And I was like, whatever, man. I said, okay, but it's bad. I said, so it's like, I mean, look, that movie wasn't good. I ain't never gonna argue about Mortal Kombat. The last Mortal Kombat was good, but I damn sure was better than the freaking original. But anyway. Cortana was in the last episode. They do use the original voice of Cortana, so that's cool. Yeah. But they had some changes of things. Like I'm still had to look up because it looked like Halsey has a daughter, and I meant to look it up before I talk about it. But
her name is Cortana.
Yeah, but no, it looked like she has a daughter, but she didn't have any children originally. Like she was all into her work, and like she would look at the Spartans as her children, even though she stole them from the families and forced them to be what they are. But they don't know that because they lost their memories and stuff. But yeah, and this is like John's getting his memories back. Like it's more emotion with Master Chief / John in this than the original Halo. Like I mean, he's emotionless, but because he touched the artifact, which is the Forerunner artifact, it start affecting him so that he's seeing things like and doing things that he wouldn't usually do. But now he has Cortana with them, so that should be interesting because the little banter that was going on between them two, that was pretty good. It was pretty funny. So yeah, I'm curious to see like where this goes, where this story goes. Like I said, I'm not hating it, so I am curious of where it goes and how will it relate to the game. Like right now, we know of the ring because the Covenant knows the ring. I don't know if the human, I think he learned it because of the artifact. So yeah, there's still the early parts of the Covenant War. Like they fought them, but they still don't understand what the Covenant is trying to do. Like what's their goal? They know they're trying to get these artifacts to do something bad with them, but they don't know exactly. All right, so I guess we get into Moon Knight. So I like this recent episode. It was pretty good.
I like that they explored more of the multiple personalities and you see a little more of the Moon Knight in action. Yeah, you do. You do see him a little more in action, and it looks like it's just two personalities right now, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, he got to get the halfway point of him, like he can fight, but he doesn't know how to fight. He's just really strong, but he's in the suit. That's the one you were talking about. He was in the suit, but they make it like that's just him with the Moon Knight, the Moon Knight suit, but he changes like to a real suit. He changes to actually have a real suit in the face. That was pretty funny. And I see like, oh, so nobody can see these monsters. Only he can see the monsters and shit, fighting them. Yeah. And the fights look good. Even though I can tell it was a fake Moon Knight, like jumping on the buildings and climbing. I was like, that could have been done better. It's almost close to Black Panther levels of badness. Only that he gets away with it because it's dark. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, I do like I like what I watch. I'm like, I want to see more of this. I do want to see. I mean, I just enjoy it. I mean, it's nothing really special about it though. It's like it's not something I'm getting that's really that I feel like is new or like that is really interesting. I feel like the personality stuff could be, but so far it's pretty simple to me. It's pretty simplistic with it. Now I do want to know that where did this other
how long has this been going on? Like with him having to.
How long has Mark existed in Saga Steven or vice versa?
Yeah. How long has this been going on? That's what I want to know. But I feel like we're going to get to a part where they do flashbacks and shit. We don't get an episode probably like that because it seems like we could do that in all these Marvel shows. So when we get there, I guess we'll learn. And I see that you see the god that gave him the power. Was it Khan or something?
Khonshu, I think.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah, whatever. It's Khan. Yeah,
Khan. If he doesn't go Khan at some point, we're all lost.
Khonshu. But yeah.
And then some old lady goes, "Bless you" as well.
Yeah, so I know he made a deal with him, and I guess the other guys are bad because they just want to force people to do good things. I don't know what the hell their goal is.
Yeah, so basically it sounds like Ethan Hawke's character is either like the vessel or avatar for a different Egyptian god, but that god basically believed in, punishing people even if they have not yet committed the crime. Whereas Khonshu is like, exactly. Minority reporting them. Whereas Khonshu is like, no, you have to commit the crime first. But they're like, well, yeah, but if people commit the crimes first, then bad things are happening and the world isn't perfect or whatever. I think it's interesting. Definitely, the morality aspect of that stuff. Of course, it's probably going to be played pretty simply with being a Marvel property and saying, you got to let people have their free will to make that choice. Although, you have to determine is, time predestined, and then you mix that up with the Avengers stuff where they're going around fucking around with time. Who knows? I think that's the most interesting thing to me so far, though, is seemingly the complete disconnect for this show from everything Marvel related currently. And to see if they attempt to try and tie that back in, or if they just leave it as its own thing for now to further explore the different personalities of Moon Knight. I haven't seen it yet,
so I'm going to say no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly kind of hoping that that's the way they go, is just exploring Moon Knight as a character more fully and not spend too much time going into that stuff. You can bring him in later, but first get this character sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. But like I said, it just feels like everything has to be tied to something.
Yeah. They have a track record of proving otherwise every time, basically, right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what else we have? I think that's it. We've been watching, so I guess we'll get to what we've been playing. So you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I just keep trekking along with Tunic. I actually found out by listening to a podcast that this has accessibility options that basically allow you to be just not die. There's a no fail mode in there. There's also like a don't run out of stamina mode, because that's another aspect of the game where basically like if you swing too many times or if you're running around too much, your stamina goes down. And in this, it's actually kind of punishing, because if you run out of stamina, then you take like 1.5 damage. So it puts you in a very vulnerable state. So I had basically been stuck where I was since last weekend, just trying to deal with these crocodile or alligator kind of enemies, and they're constantly kind of ganging up on you, because wherever they are, there's like at least 2, sometimes 3 of them, and they all kind of get triggered at the same time. So I was just having so much difficulty fighting them. I was like, oh, okay, let me explore these options. So I first turned on the kind of infinite endurance thing, the infinite stamina, and was like, okay, let me see if I can beat them this way. I tried a couple of times that way, still got my ass kicked. So I've just have gone into full no fail mode, Dominic. I am fully untouchable in this game now, and I am here for it because now I can actually progress. And I got to a boss, and let me just say, holy shit. Maybe it's because I have the mentality of I'm basically untouchable now, but I feel like if I had to fight that boss, and especially because I don't think there was like a shrine right before him or anything to allow me to like go back and respawn just for that fight. It would have had to been go through these enemies all over again. I probably would have rage quit. I'd just been like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, this is not fun, because that boss was intense. Like, the AoE effects kind of attacks he had basically seemed like it could hit me anywhere in the arena that I was at. And it just seemed like it would have been extremely hard had I not had these kind of cheats or accessibility options turned on. So, unless I feel otherwise, I think I'm going to leave them on and just enjoy the game as a kind of experience and not worry too much about the whole dying or trying to quote unquote get good at it. Cause like, I'm still attempting to dodge attacks. Like, I don't want to be hit or anything, but also it relieves the pressure of dying within like 4 hits and kind of getting frustrated and having to do the corpse run kind of thing that you do in a Dark Souls. So yeah, I'm glad that they have that option in there. I would very much like to maybe see one of those be added to a FromSoft game in the future and maybe take another stab at it. I mean, of course, on the PC, you can kind of enable cheats and stuff, but having that stuff built in is also very convenient.
Oh, shit. It isn't a retcon with Halsey. That is her daughter.
Oh, she's had a daughter in the game?
Yeah, well, the game doesn't go into it. I'm looking at this article. It says, surprisingly, the family dynamic isn't a retcon at all. It's part of the main timeline, too. Captain Jacob Keyes died in the first Halo game, but his place was taken by his daughter, Miranda, who had inherited the tactical brilliance. Later on, Halo Reach, including journal entries from Dr. Halsey, that revealed she was Miranda Keyes' mother. So it revealed later that she had
Interesting.
But
now
see,
you
in the
spoiled
book,
the show for yourself.
Yeah, but the book didn't say that. But the book came out before, the Reach. So that's I'm just going by the book. The first Halo book. According to these notes, Miranda was born in 2525 and originally raised by her mother. In 2531, Miranda was sent to her father to be brought up in the lunar colony, and Halsey believed Miranda had her surname changed to Keyes in an attempt to earn her father's approval. Well, I just thought that was normal.
I feel like we've had that conversation before. Yeah, I don't know what is. Yeah. In a separated household, who usually gets the child's name? I feel like it is the father, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be like the father's out of the life,
Yeah.
Usually out of the life, you have the chances are, they won't get the father's name. But yeah, I just thought it made more sense. I was more saying Halsey. Why did she have that? I was thinking like, oh, maybe she divorced him, and I don't know if they got divorced or I don't know if they even say about marriage.
Yeah.
But it say Mary and Dee joined the OC and press blah 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, so she really was her daughter. Okay, all right. So that's interesting. So okay, so they didn't retcon that. All right, cool. All right. So what have we got? What I've been playing. Yeah. All right, so I've been playing some more Persona 5 Strikers. Still just going through that. Nothing really changed much on that. I played a few new games this week. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I did play some of that. I played a very little of it. I just played the Phantom Menace episode. Now in the game, you can play every first episode of that little arc. So you can play either Phantom Menace, A New Hope, or the girl. I forgot what that was called. Force Awakens. Yes. And so you can pick one of those to start, and then after you beat them, then you unlock the next one. So I start with the Phantom Menace, and just to see like, hey, how does this compare to the original Lego Star Wars game? It's totally different. Like it's more action, like, and you have more abilities. It's not just a simple like pressing A and just swinging your lightsaber around. You can do like a little mini combo. It's not really like complicated or anything. It's still simplified, but it's a lot more to it. It's not just very simple. Now I know there's accessibility options, so I don't know if you can change some things to make this easier. No, I changed it so that when you fall, you don't lose a heart. So I was like, yeah, because I was assuming I was going to fall a lot like I do in the other Lego games because the way the board is. But I don't know. Maybe this is better where I don't have to fall a lot. But I was just on the ship in the beginning, episode 1. So when, they're trying to kill the Jedi and I'm trying to escape it. And I think, I saved it after you escaped and you meet Jar Jar. And it's all voice acting, of course, like, 'cause that's all Lego games are now. At least it's just original voice acting, though.
I was going to say, but not movie stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's original, so that's what's good, and so it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's all right. Like, so far what I played, it's okay. It's very different. It looks a whole lot better. But yeah, it's definitely not like the other Lego games. Like, they really made this to be more action, more of a 3D action game.
I've definitely seen people at least like jokingly a little bit comparing it to like a platinum game or something more along that lines. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, okay. Devil May Cry kind of thing. Talking about how you can do like combos and stuff now in it.
Yeah. And I mean, you still can just break boxes. Like, I'm still like spending all this time just in one area, just trying to break every box to get the nubs or whatever they're called. But yeah, I only played a little of it. So far it seems okay. It seems like an okay game. It seems a lot better than the other games, at least. I mean, I'm not saying it's like a super great. I mean, but it's fine. It's fine for what so far it's fine what it is. I gotta see how it goes from here. What else is there? I don't know if there's online co-op. I'm gonna assume no, just because. But there is co-op in the game, but local. And I played a little bit of MLB The Show. I just basically played an exhibition game. I just played a little bit of it just to see if there was anything different, and there wasn't. I mean, at least for what I do, I didn't notice anything different. And the bad thing is, though, is that this year they don't let you transfer your My Player to this year's one, to this year's game. They for reasons I don't know. I don't know why they didn't do that. I understand last season because it was on new systems. I don't know if you could do it on PS4, but I understand on Xbox why you couldn't do it because you're on the Xbox. But now I don't know the reason, and like that was some people were upset about that, and I'm upset because this is gonna be the first time I actually did it because I usually do it every other year. So like I don't mind every other year doing a new player because I haven't played it, in so long. Or like I played it so much, that player, that by the time I play the next game, I want a new player. So, but now that I'm playing year to year, I want to just get my character because I ain't playing a whole lot last year. And I was like, hey, he still has a lot to grow. I was ready to do that. And I was looking for the options. And then I looked online and found out they didn't do it. That was pissed me off. I was like, I got to start over again. And that means I have to go through all this, collect all these fucking cards and shit. I said, damn, that freaking sucks. Because I just wanted to transfer the player. At least I could be at that point where I can just get, okay, I can add to this. Now I got to, oh man, that's a little frustrating. So that kind of just made me not even really start playing yet. Now I think I might actually just do a regular franchise mode. This time, start off with that, just be the Orioles. Unfortunately, they did not update the stadium to have that pocket they have now at the stadium. I'm hoping they can do it in a patch, but who knows? It might not even be worth the money for them. They'll probably just say, hey, we'll do it next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's MLB The Show. Since I don't play online or anything, I don't get those. I'm not really doing those new features. So one of the new features was that I think you can do Diamond Dynasty co-op. I was like, hey, that's pretty good, but I don't do that shit, so it doesn't matter. I played another game that came on Xbox Game Pass. It's not new, but I think it's new to. It might be new to Xbox or new to Game Pass, one or the other. Chinatown Detectives Agencies. It's a point-and-click adventure, basically. It looks very old school, that pixelated look of the like 80s, early 90s kind of game, like the LucasArts games that used to come out then. And it seemed okay what I played, but I couldn't save. And I was like, why can I save? And I was thinking like, oh, it must be automatic save. That's what I was thinking. And then when I went back to play it, no, I had to start over again. And I was thinking like, what is going on? So I looked online to see how do you save? And it said, oh, to stop save scumming, which is like where people, hey, they mess up and then they want to hurry up and go back and to where they did, to where they saved at. They save and then say, I'm going to try this, but I don't want to. But if there's something wrong, I can go back.
Yeah.
So to stop that, they said you only can save like after a mission or a case or something. And the cases apparently not that long, but still that's really inconvenient for me. So I was like, okay, that sucks. So then I looked at the reviews of the games. How did people like it? And it's got very mixed to bad reviews. So I was like, maybe it's not worth my time then to even go through. Because I was curious about it. And I probably would have still played it, even if I saw reviews. Because if I could save. But since I can't save, I'm like, whatever. And then maybe there's a mod out there for if I want to download it on PC. Because I'm playing through streaming right now. Yeah. Maybe there is, but I don't know. I don't even feel like doing that. I'll just go back to play Paradise, the island game I was talking about before.
Paradise Lost or something.
Yeah, I think I played a little bit of that this morning. That game, I'll go back and play that just to get my detective fix. What else? I feel like I did something else. I feel like I played something else. I know I didn't play any Shadow Warrior. I didn't play. I don't know what the game I was playing, but yeah, the really game I was really focusing on this week was Persona 5 Strikers. But I felt like I touched something else. Let me see. Oh, I did touch a little bit of the Wild West game.
Oh, okay.
I did touch a little bit of that.
West one.
What I do? Oh yeah, I downloaded on PC this time, and if I could use some cheats, and they were good. The cheats were good, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna kick some ass because I have a hard time aiming with a controller, and I don't. Well, actually, I should just try the mouse and keyboard now since I just downloaded. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I can actually use it now. And then because I can use the mouse and keyboard on those type of games. They're all right. All right. Did I play anything else? Let me see here. No, I guess I did not. But there's a few games up here that I'm curious about, like the Narco game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like an action adventure game. Yeah. And then you have the Memoir Blue, which is like an action adventure game, which it seem like an emotional type of game. And that Kraken Academy, which I saw that like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it looks like it kind of reminds me of that game I played that's like the 80s. Like takes place in the 80s kind of game, throwback game, but it was like with 4 kids.
Yeah.
What was that game called? I forgot what the game called.
Shortcut on my desktop for so long, but then I reformatted. I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, Kraken Academy, because it's another pixelated looking game too, but it's an action adventure type of game. So that looks interesting. Like I'm seeing these smaller games. Like, see, that's what they with Game Pass. I mean, I know there are people out there who complain because they say like it's a lot of games that not worth it. They say it's Game Pass don't have no games or anything. Mm-hmm. Because they're not into playing these type of games, I guess. And I get it. If you're just a person who likes to play AAA games, then yeah, you're not gonna get that all the time with Game Pass. Yeah. But for a guy like me, I wouldn't touch these games like Weird West, Kraken, and Narco.
Because it's too much of a cost investment.
Yeah. And I don't know really how they are. So, and they don't have demos. But I realized, hey, I've tried them out and I like them. And that's the only way. And see, I give them a chance. And they're on Game Pass. So
Crossing Souls is that game that we were trying to think of.
Souls? What's it again?
Crossing Souls.
Crossing Souls, yes. That's what Kraken Academy, the look of it reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so see, this is all good for me. Like, even these indie games, I mean, play these indie games that I would never touch. And I actually give it a chance to say, hey, something looks interesting. I say, but I got to buy it because nobody does demos. And now I can actually play it. So it's definitely worth it. To me, it's worth it for me, I should say.
And I didn't realize 2 Point Campus was coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, I saw that too. I guess they had 2 Point Hospital up there. I don't know if it's still up there though. I think that's gone. Oh, it is? Yeah. Damn.
Yep.
I remember I was playing the hell out of that
Life is Strange True Colors is coming too.
Yeah, I did see that. And I was like, oh man, I could have got achievements. I wish they were putting the other ones up there because then I'll stop because I kind of stopped playing the remastered one. Yeah. But I'm gonna go back to that. All right, so I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right,
and we're back, and now we're flashbacking to 10 years ago, 2012, and we're gonna start with Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. This was huge. This was the one of the biggest JRPGs on the Wii. I mean, if you don't count Zelda, because I don't. I don't count Zelda as
might be RPG, the only one.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of another good one, at least. If there was, I just don't remember. But this is the one that everybody's talking about. They all talked about. They're all waiting for. I was sort of waiting for this, but then again, I just was not into the Wii at this point anymore, and I didn't want to play with those controls. I didn't want to use that controller in that way. But I was a Xeno fan because they're made by the same people who did Xenogears back on the PlayStation 1 back in the late 90s. Then they did Xenosaga in the early 2000s. And then this was their next baby, was the Xenoblade. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to play this. Now, I didn't play all the Xenosaga, though. I think I only played episode 1 and 2. They had a 3, but I didn't play it. So it's not like there's a story connection. I mean, I think there's a broader connection between all 3 games, but not to a point where you have to play them. Like you have to go back. Oh, I got to play Xenogears. Nah, you don't. It's like, I think it's like years later or another planet. I have no fucking idea. Honestly, it's like, it's just so far apart from each other that you don't have to play. But yeah, I mean, it got good scores. It got a 92, I think, on the Wii. It did come out later, for the Wii U and not Wii U, the 3DS and the Switch. So, the new 3DS. You cannot play it on the old 3DS. That's what it. I forget about that. I keep forgetting about that one. The new 3DS. Yeah. Which we still haven't got a new Switch, Daniel.
Nope.
We still haven't got a new Switch yet.
Eventually. I'm sure we're talking about new rumors next week, though.
Oh, okay. All right, so what's the next game we got here? We got Skullgirls, came out for PlayStation Network and Xbox 360. Skullgirls is the fighting game where it's very anime-ish, animated. Looks really good. I like the look of it. And people liked it. People enjoyed it. I think, what did it get on Metacritic? Let's see here. It got 82 on PlayStation, 78 on 360. 83 on PC. And it released later on the other consoles too. It released on a PS4 and Vita. Well, PS4 and Vita. I guess I say fuck Xbox One. For reasons. But these guys who made it, it wasn't Japanese, right? This was they're not American, but Western.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's the developer. Yeah, it is. And they're called Reverie Labs, publishers Autumn Games. Reverie Labs, I don't know if they even do anything because I can't even click on their name to see.
Yeah, I forget what the Skullgirls people are doing nowadays.
Nothing bad happened to them, did they? Did they get Me Too'd or anything?
I don't think so. I hope not.
Oh, look, man, actually I put the Reverie Games and it came up Average Games. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. But anyway, the Skullgirls, yeah. That was good. Did you ever play it?
I think I played maybe the demo. And yeah, it's cool. Like, it looks really nice. It's well done, like
Reverge, I should say.
Hand-drawn, pixel arty kind of stuff. But I'm not a big fighting game guy. Like, I've got Mortal Kombat, but that's about kind of it where I'm with those games.
You ain't play that.
And I didn't even play much of that.
All right. So what we got here? Here we go. Well, they had Second Encore. Well, I guess that's technically, I mean, they probably added some girls in there, maybe. I'm not even sure. But that's the only thing I see from them.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So what else we have? We got Pinball Arcade came out for the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita. This is one of the pinball games. It was like them, Farsight Studios and Zen Studios, who had pinball games and Pinball Arcade, you said they were using like official ones.
Yeah, I think they were doing like licensed stuff, whereas Zen was doing more like, we designed these tables as part of this video game, and they had licenses like Star Wars and big movie licenses
based off of real pinball machines.
Correct. Yeah.
While these were actually, they just digitized them. And like they have the Pinball Hall of Fame Williams collection, which has that one that scares
the fun house.
Yeah,
it's got a little doll face on it.
Yeah, the dummy. Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb collection. I guess these are pinball names. If you know pinball, you know these names. I fucking don't. Actually, that doesn't even mean that. I bet you I told my dad this when he wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like who knows? Who learns the names? Unless it's the name of the actual, table.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what kind. Also have what? Black Hole, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Tales of Arabian Nights, and the Theater of Magic. So yeah, get you like, hey, yeah, I'm in the 70s again, man, playing pinball and drinking some soda pop. All right. And last and maybe least, I don't know. Rogue Gone Sour came out 10 years ago on the PlayStation Network and Xbox 360. And it came on Windows actually last year in December. This is a game based off the Sour Patch Kids. I don't even remember this game, but it's a side-scrolling platform, and you watched it. So what was it?
Yeah, just like, you're playing as a Sour Patch Kid fighting other Sour Patch Kids as you jump around, little world of, like made up of bigger items, because it's basically like you're a Sour Patch Kid in a regular human-sized world.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says the player takes a role of green Sour Patch Kid who wishes to be eaten, as do other candy in the game. At the start of the game, the character has his red friend, and his red friend are about to be taken to a theater to be sold when a rip in the packaging caused the red candy to fall out. The package is purchased by a moviegoer. When the green candy is about to be eaten, the buyer trips, causing the green candy to be thrown in the trash. He then sets off on a journey with the goal of being eaten, while encountering other abandoned Sour Patch Kids. He also meets corrupted Sour Patch Kids who have gone sour and are lashing out.
More sour.
And are lashing out at others for being forgotten. What? These guys are so suicidal. You play a suicidal. This could have
easily been solved if you just eat the Sour Patch Kid out of the trash. I mean, learns anything.
All right. So what else we have here? Damn, I got a lot of windows open here. All right, so that's it for 2012. So now we're going back 20 years, 2002. We got Dungeon Siege, the action RPG, the isometric view action RPG. Kind of reminds you of Baldur's Gate, Lo Diablo. It was published by Windows. And who was? You know what? I'm gonna see who the developer is. Oh, I did have it up here. Okay, developer was Gas Powered Games. And what other games have they done? They really done Dungeon Siege.
Oh, right. I mean, I guess you make enough Dungeon Sieges. That name sounded familiar, but I guess if you make enough Dungeon Siege games, yeah.
They did Space Siege, too. There was a Space Siege that came out in 2008. And Supreme Commander. I know that game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Demigod. I remember that game, too. I remember seeing that's the 4 Windows game. I used to see that on Target, like, being put up. I don't know if it's good or not, though. But yeah, these guys, they're not around no more because the last game they made was Age of Empires Online, and then they had 2 games in the making, but they were canceled. So or they've been put with some other studio. Let me see, maybe it says something here. In 2013, they became the Seattle studio of Wargaming. Wargaming Seattle was closed down in July 2018. Oh man, so they're not around anymore. But they did make a great series. All right. So, what else happened in 2002? Okay, Activision Publishing. I forgot about this. I forgot Activision had this line for all their Extreme games, like the Tony Hawk game, Matt Hoffman, and others. Whoever the surfboarder name is. I don't know. They had
Kelly Slater.
Activision, like 02. They call it 02 lineup.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot they did that. They only did it for like 2 years. And Activision extends O2 lineup in the popular motocross. So they got motocross now, and they got the undefeated X Games gold medalist Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, Travis Pastrana was big.
Yeah, I remember that name. When I saw that name, I said, I remember hearing that on ESPN.
Yeah, he of course did motocross. I think he was one of the first guys to like land the 360 flip or whatever, and then he also was part of, I think, that Nitro Circus stuff when they started doing that, like Jackass meets X Games kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, this was gonna be like a big thing. It was, I guess it was somewhat big, but actually the only thing that really came out of it that was big was Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
I think Matt Hoffman was probably like behind it, but it was probably like way behind it.
I was gonna say, yeah. If that's second, it was like
because I think Dave Mirra was kicking his butt.
Yeah. Once you had titties, Dominic.
Yeah, so I guess they saw like, oh, nobody really cares about surfing, and I don't know how the motocross played. I mean, I'm gonna see nobody cared about, but I don't know if it was bad though, like compared to the other motocross games, or what. Because I don't remember nobody talking about it. I can tell you that.
No, not really.
Yeah, so Tony Hawk was the only thing that left. So they say there's no point in doing an O2 lineup, so it's just gonna be Tony Hawk lineup. All right. So that is it for Flashback segment. So yeah, just pretty short one this week. I guess we'll take a quick break, or we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're going to get to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So first up, we got Rogue Legacy 2. It's been given a launch date of April 28th, so later this month. It's been in early access kind of preview program on the Epic Store for, I think, about a year now. I've really enjoyed that first game, and I'm looking forward to the second one. It's basically a roguelike, side-scrolling action platformer, I guess you can call it. You're a little sword guy, but every time you restart, you're given some kind of different condition. You can get like color blindness, and everything will be in black and white. You'll have like some other thing, dizziness, where it makes the screen shake. They're not all negative. Sometimes you have like no knockback because you have like Buff Daddy or something like that. But it's basically played like you're a family lineage, and with each new member of the family, you get kind of a new quirk. And there are things that you can carry over, like weapons and armor and stuff that you buy. But it's a really neat concept, and also just I thought the gameplay of it was very solid as far as the sword play of it. So we shall see how Rogue Legacy 2 turns out. It feels like this is kind of a surprise drop, even though it's been in early access for quite a while.
Does it have a story?
Not really. Just, yeah, outside of this is your family lineage kind of stuff, there's no real story to it.
All right. I mean, because, I want to try this. I'll just try it when 2 comes out then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 1 is right now. I don't know how long it is or how long after this podcast will go up it'll be, but Rogue Legacy 1 is currently free on the Epic Store as one of their free games of the week.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out. But maybe don't you have it on Steam?
I do have it on Steam, yeah. I had it on Steam also. I think the place I played it the most was the Vita. That was a very good Vita game. So that'd be good on the Switch. When that comes out eventually, I'm sure. All right. We also got some
other Steam Deck.
Yeah, or the God damn it, Dominic, like I keep looking at it and I'm like, but if I got one, like, would I get the lowest tier one and then try and like upgrade the storage independently of that? Because like 64 gigs just isn't big enough for like most modern games.
For modern games, I mean, it's good for the indies.
Yeah,
yeah.
But to have more than like a couple on there, and I'm very bad about managing that stuff and like, oh, I'm gonna play this one game and then I'll get rid of it. No, and maybe that's my problem, is like I just like to have the option of playing multiple games and then I don't play any of them because I'm paralyzed by choice or something.
Yeah. That's what Netflix.
Steam Deck, man. That
I don't like Netflix anymore.
Good. Looks really good, Dominic. Looks really good. All right. Some other news. Epic is making another big move here, Dominic. They are partnering with Lego to create what they are calling a metaverse for kids, basically. Some would argue that already exists in Fortnite because kids play Fortnite. And honestly, I could see adults being more into Lego. But it sounds like basically they're trying to make like a safe space where they can kind of protect kids from maybe some of the more gross elements of online spaces, which
dirty uncles,
I'm sure exist in Fortnite. Exactly. Although there are also kids that are making the internet an awful place too. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people.
Well, it's a safe place for kids to still be kids, basically.
Yeah,
they kids bully, yeah, but it's better than being bullied by an adult.
Yeah,
tell you that.
I'm sure there's something here about like going outside and touching grass or whatever, but whatever. Kids will be inside. They're going to play video games. Legos are expensive. Maybe virtual Legos will be less expensive.
Yeah, I just wonder what kind of Lego game they're going to do with that.
Yeah. And I wonder if, like, when you say metaverse, does that instantly imply like VR situation?
That's all I think about when I hear metaverse.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, let's be realistic. You give me a VR headset and like a table of unlimited Legos, that would probably be pretty fucking cool. Like, just choose the Lego set you want to build and just be in your VR and build some Legos. Cool, chill way to
speaking of
get away from
Legos,
things.
I mean, something about Lego movie. Here, Chris Pratt is going to be the voice of a Garfield or something like that.
I think I did hear that at some point.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh man, another Garfield movie, and then it's going to be Chris Pratt. It's like somebody said, man, this man must got some dirt on all these producers or something. It's just like for him to be always picked for these voices.
He's God's chosen son, Dominic. He picked the right church to go to. Because clearly they got a direct line.
He's another. So he's basically what's his name? What's the short guy name?
Short guy.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. So he's basically like
he's that, but for like Christians,
Tom
I guess.
Cruise, and then but then you hear about that. So, he's weirdo. He said he's Scientology shit. Like, oh, he's a weirdo. And with this, with that stuff, Chris Pratt's like, oh, Chris Pratt's cool. And then I heard that, I was like, oh god, man, all y'all fucking people weirdos. Why do we even? That's why it's like, you know what? This is why
do we expect any less?
Learn about you. I need to not learn about these people, or like not care. I hate when people like the whole thing with the Will Smith thing and JDP. I'm like, come on, man. Why do you even care? Honestly, like, why do we associate ourselves like, hey, like she's being hurt, or Chris Rock or whatever? Like, I'm like, yo, dude, like, these people are weird. I mean, she fucked her son's friend. Like, who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck about like her feelings being hurt or anything. I'm like, dude, she fucked her son's friend and went on a freaking show and talked about it.
Yeah.
With the husband.
With her husband.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo.
I think that was the moment where I was like, Will Smith is kind of weird. Because it was very much like, up to that point, he was very like, he kept to himself. You didn't really hear much about them or him.
All you heard was the rumors.
Like his personal life.
You never heard them. You never heard it like straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, this stuff is happening. And then when it was like, this stuff is happening, and also he's going to be on her show to talk about it, I was like, okay, this is not what people do.
So these people are weird. I'm like, man, the hell with that shit. I said, you ain't going to hear me saying like, oh, how do you attack a black woman? I said, dude, this ain't about that. The woman's too weird to even care. I don't give a damn about her race. All right.
Hollywood. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Hollywood's fucking weird. That's why I say it's another world. Like, it could be a race thing, but they have to deal with it. I don't know that world. Like, I don't know how to freaking function in that world.
Yeah. It's hard enough to function in this world, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole nother level of odd. All right, Dominic. Next up, we got some news out of Sony. They have laid off nearly 90 employees. It sounds like mostly from their merchandising division, which is basically the team that is the liaisons to brick and mortar stores. It sounds like they're, spending less time focusing on that, which makes sense. We're moving to a much more digital focused world, and you maybe don't need as many feet on the ground to talk up the guy at Target.
Out the damn stores, so like there's going to be a point where it's going to be a point where you won't have people in the stores. You just go in.
I mean, honestly, that's what Amazon was looking to do with that friggin' store they opened up, where you basically walk in and just pick up whatever you want. It figures out what you took and you walk back out. So yeah, we're definitely headed in that direction, maybe a little slower than some people think.
I think it's going to be a big apocalypse shit happen before we even get to the point where everybody can do that. Because I just thought everybody don't have credit cards. I mean, they don't have accounts like that. Like, you got to get to a point where everybody does. Or see, no, they don't. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people left behind. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a very dangerous world, because you're going to be moving forward and just saying, fuck the people who don't really move forward in that way.
Yeah. I mean, even the people that just can't move forward, that's the dystopian future, right? Is we are leaving people behind by making those choices, because it's saving these companies money, but also like then people don't have jobs, they can't buy anything, they can't do any of that stuff. I was actually surprised. I hadn't heard about it until the other day that Baltimore City is starting like a pilot program, a test program for guaranteed income. And I know some other states and cities have tried that in the past or currently testing that out, but basically saying, just by existing as an adult being over the age of 18 or something like that, you're guaranteed to get, $600 a month or something like that. So you aren't necessarily struggling trying to get, 3 or 4 jobs just to have a living wage or something like that.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And the reality of it is, if we are moving towards a future where there are fewer, lower quote unquote level jobs, more menial labor and retail jobs, as we bring on robots and things of that nature, like, Elon Musk was out there again with his fucking Tesla robot or whatever going, like we're going to start next year. And, he always makes up bullshit timelines. But even if that's the case, if we're talking about getting to the point where there's AI robots within a couple of years, then those are like labor jobs that could potentially be taken away. I mean, we're already talking about like self-driving. If you have self-driving trucks, you don't have to worry about the human aspect, and that's a whole bunch of truck drivers that have lost their jobs. And I think that's like one of the largest sectors of employment right now in the US or something like that. And, we've talked about it in the past. I think, not everybody's going to be able to become a programmer. And what do you do for those people? We need social safety nets to protect people that are either too old to learn those things, or, incapable in other forms or fashions to do those types of things. Support people so that they can maybe express their creative endeavors maybe a little more. I don't know, but we shall see, Dominic. Things definitely are maybe not getting better at the moment, but maybe there's something that would spark some kind of reformation or something that would be necessary.
Yeah, we'll see.
We shall see. Doesn't seem like it right now, though. But on a more positive note, Dominic, Activision Blizzard has converted the contracts of basically all of their QA contractors into employees, giving them access to employee benefits, raising wages to $20 an hour. The unfortunate thing is this doesn't correlate to the stuff happening at Raven Studios because of the unionization efforts there. Basically, from what I was reading, it would be impossible for them to do that because you're not allowed to raise wages when there are active discussions about unionization happening, because that would sway people one direction or another.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And this is obviously a way to kind of preemptively sway them, right? oh, guys, you don't need to think about unionizing because, we're bringing you on, we're giving you health care, we're doing all that stuff and raising you to $20 an hour, And I'm glad they're doing it. The reasons they may be doing it aren't maybe the best, but also this doesn't necessarily negate people's ability to then still talk about unionization. It maybe makes the people who aren't as serious or adamant about needing it, it maybe pushes them further away from voting yes on it or something like that. But those are still conversations that I feel like need to be had and seem like we are getting closer to at least having in the video game industry because of the way things have been going over the past couple of years now, especially. So, yeah, that's a step closer to better things, I guess.
Yeah, it is. We'll see. Because Amazon, recently, the guy who was fired, and now
trying
he's
to unionize.
Yeah, and now they got him. Now he's got it 2 point. Yeah, they unionized in that. It's just in that one particular, I think, place, right? Though
that like
warehouse.
New York, right?
Yeah,
New York warehouse.
And I think Tone talked because he talked to him when he got fired.
Oh,
this was like during COVID when because he was complaining about the max stuff, like how they weren't doing a lot of the COVID protocols at that time. And then he got let go for that. But I was like, oh, that's good. Like he actually got that done. I mean, this is that's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, man, I hope it works out for others to be able to do that. It's hard to do to get people on that page, but for him to get that, get people on the same page like that is great.
Definitely.
I mean, hopefully that shows people like, look, man, it's like if it's a lot of you, man, it's a whole lot easier to get that shit done. Because even though, they always say like they can fire you, but if everybody go at the same time, not say you just leave, but if you all complain, because not enough people complain. Sometimes
if you come to the table together as opposed to one person at a time, you've got a lot more power.
Or like just like 5. Even if you just do 5, that's not good enough. It's like, yo, I got like hundreds of people who work here,
right,
or something like that. You gotta get most of y'all. Get most of y'all saying come. Say, hey, this is what we all. I agree with this shit too. Something like that. Like, that's the only problem. In these places, and I get it. It's people because they're scared to lose their jobs, and it's hard. It's hard to do, but I think sometimes you just got to ask yourself: Are you okay with living like this? Because this is where you at. This is where you're at most of your life. There's places you have work more than you're at home. So, do you want to live like this, or
it's just such a wild concept when you actually think about it? Your waking hours, you spend more time at work than you do at home. So, yeah. All right, Dominic, switch things up back to just video game shit. We got a new Tomb Raider. It has been announced, and they are going to be developing it on Unreal 5.
Yeah, it's more like that game they showed off on Unreal 5. You remember when they first showed off Unreal 5? It was like that lady in some type of tomb.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Cavern
her.
Area. Yeah.
This should replace her. Just replace her with the Tomb Raider lady. That's a game.
Copy, paste. Yeah. It seems like, because Unreal 5 just officially launched a couple of days ago, so it seems like we're getting a lot of announcements now saying,
I made some things with it.
Did you? I thought about downloading it just to play around with it again.
It's like I didn't make shit with it.
Keep dipping in and out of game development.
I don't even know what. Can I do something with it?
Yeah.
How the shit was going to run on my computer?
That's a good question. I mean, it would.
I don't have to have Windows 11, do I?
No, I don't think so. Okay. Anything that would require Windows 11 would just be that would be a hilariously bad decision. I mean, Windows 11 is just not there. I mean, the fact that Windows 11 has hardware restrictions, like anything Gen 7 and older for Intel, like I literally can't even install Windows 11 on my desktop computer because of the processor that I'm running, which is old, but it's not that old. I mean, I think we're on 12th gen right now. So, 5 years ago, Like, that's kind of shitty that you can't even support hardware from 5 years ago.
No, mine's 10 years ago, so. It's just,
what's that?
I said mine's 10. No, I think it's like 11 years ago.
God damn. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the only reason I even have that newer stuff is because
the milk.
I ruined mine. I don't know. I might have gotten something a little later, probably right before the pandemic or something, but it really depends. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, one of the guys at work, he's having trouble with his PC right now. He had turned it off for a while and had it unplugged, and when he turned it back on, like, it just won't boot up anymore. We were trying to troubleshoot it, but he's looking at new components and he's realizing, I think he's got 7th gen stuff too, but he's got like an i7 or something like that. But to buy a motherboard that would be compatible with his chip, the cost of it, because that stuff's not available anymore and it's not backwards compatible, it would just be cheaper to buy a new chip and a new motherboard, which is exactly what I found when I had to replace my stuff. And
yeah. I remember I was just looking at
like, and his parts. Stuff is like 4 years old or 3 years old. It's kind of ridiculous in that way. The technology moves so quickly, but also doesn't allow for any sort of like backwards compatibility. I think AMD does that a little better. I think their motherboards have some forward and backwards compatibility that the Intel stuff doesn't, but it's so weird. You have your Intel stuff and that maybe runs your NVIDIA cards slightly better than it would an AMD card and vice versa. And it's just like, goddamn, man. Like, sometimes it is just easier to have consoles, but even then with them now, like, oh, you have your Pro model, and if you turn on ray tracing, you can get it to run this fast. And it's like, I just wanted a console because I turned it on and played it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's why, like, you and I talk so positively about that stuff, because for a subscription of $15 a month, I can play games like I'm playing on a next gen console, basically. And theoretically, the next time that console, a new console releases, it'll still be the same. I'll still be paying $15 and getting something equivalent to that console then, without having to invest the money in the hardware. So now they just need to let me run Excel from a stream or something like that.
Yeah.
Just dummy terminal, back to the dummy terminals, Dominic, of the old days. Yeah. So it's craziness, Dominic. All right. In some other news, we got news that Remedy is working with Rockstar to make remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2. And I am very much here for that, Dominic.
Yeah, that's cool. I do want to see that. I hope it's not like the Grand Theft Auto remakes, though.
Oh my God, yes. I'm going to consider those anomalies, because those were also like remasters, right? So if they're using the terminology remakes, I'm hoping they're putting in the work. It's supposed to be running on the same engine as Control, so that's fantastic, because that game looks and runs very good. Max Payne 2 is a game that I very much got into. Max Payne 1, I think at the time my computer couldn't run it. And then by the time I got something new, Max Payne 2 came out, and I just kind of skipped Max Payne 1 because it was very much like behind the times graphics wise. But it's very much a game that I would love to go back to, especially if they're modernizing the graphics and the controls and everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that, Dominic. And then this last one I got here, I saw it and instantly thought you might be very excited about it. We are getting a new Monkey Island game, Return to Monkey Island, created by Ron Gilbert. He's one of the original creators, one of the guys that made, what was the latest one that he put out, Dominic?
I forgot what it was called. Thimbleweed, yes.
Yeah, so Thimbleweed, and the team that worked on that is going to be working on this. So it seems very cool. It's supposed to be out this year as well. So it's kind of a shock release.
Yeah, it is.
So
Monkey Island. I mean, that's a good product, because that's funny. I'm surprised, like Disney just said, well, I guess they had Pirates of the Caribbean, but they could have done an animated like Monkey Island show or movie.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Make like a Disney Plus thing for. Maybe this could be the beginning of that, right? If this comes out and is successful, but maybe they could do that. Very much feels like a property that would maybe be picked up by Netflix back in the day. Obviously, now they wouldn't let it. But
that's his name.
Yeah.
Mighty Pirate, he says. He's not mighty at all.
Yep, and they got the original voice actor coming back for it and all that. So.
Oh, man, he's still alive. That's good.
Yep.
It's like I don't know who it was. It's like I can't say that because like the Simpsons people, well, not all of them, but a lot of them still going. The main ones, that show needs to fucking end, man. It's gonna end. It's gonna end when somebody dies. That's fucked up. Like I gotta wait till like the God's Peaceful Homer gonna die, and then it's gonna be like, oh, okay, we're gonna stop.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, it might find somebody to do the voice. God damn.
Yeah, Simpsons, it's weird. I'm just like, hey, man, still prints money.
Like, I know. Exactly. Like, who's still watching it from... How many people are still watching it from when they watched it in the beginning? I know there's some. It's one of like the percentage.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be like, man, it sucks. I
just wonder what I'm sure the numbers are out there, but like, what is the viewership of that show nowadays compared to... back in the day? I mean, I know TV as a general thing has gone down ratings wise.
Yeah, it's very different.
Like in proportion to that, I wonder.
I mean, Simpsons used to be something like people just always talked about.
Yeah.
But then again, we were young too.
We were.
I don't know how adults talked about it back when we were young.
They're like, this show my kid can't be watching. It's bad.
But I like Bob's Burgers and better than that. Bob's Burgers and even that other one they got that's on Fox. The Up the North something. Something. Yeah. But it looked like what's it called? It used to be a show with the moose walking by.
Oh, Northern Exposure.
Yeah, it's like a Northern Exposure cartoon or something.
Yeah. Those were the best DVDs, Dominic, because they came in little life vests every season.
Yeah. It's funny, I don't think I ever seen Northern Exposure. So I could be just lying. Really? There's nothing like it.
I think it was. I used to watch it. I want to say like my grandmother watched it or something like that.
Was it like a comedy?
It was like a dramedy kind of thing. A dramedy, okay. Maybe like a Gilmore Girls.
Did you see the one episode? I think the only episode I've seen was the VR one.
There's a VR one?
A guy went into, there was somebody had like a VR thing, almost like Lawnmower Man. And
God.
Like he was like seeing, but they seemed like real life though. It looked like real life going in. And I think he was like with a woman and shit like that.
I'll have to look that up. I didn't remember that at all. That's amazing. Good stuff. All right,
Dad, where's Northern Exposure at? Is that even streaming somewhere?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. Northern Exposure streaming. Where to watch? Currently not available to stream. You just got to buy those DVDs and then you put the life vests on your dog or cats or something like that. Yeah, that's the news I had for the week. Dominic, did you see anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, I think I'm good.
All right. We got new releases here, Dominic. We got Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. That's
I've seen that.
Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
I haven't seen reviews though.
The review I saw on Destructoid was a 6. It sounded like it was a bad port of a decent game, I think was their wording of it. So
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, not great. We also got MLB The Show 22, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. You talked about that earlier. I do wonder how the final version of that Nintendo Switch version came out.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I mean, I haven't really looked, but to see what the reviews are of that, because I think Game Informer say review in progress.
Oh, okay.
So they did say they're doing the Switch version also. So that should be curious. I'm curious with that.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, we have Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. You mentioned that earlier as well. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the series consoles.
I think I saw 8 something on Game Informer. I don't know, like, the Metacritic. Let me see. Why Lego Harry Potter comes up?
Those are games like I used to play with my nephew, and I enjoyed them even playing them myself, but hearing that it has more of an action slant to it now definitely intrigues me a little more, because those games were very stiff back in the day. It was literally like you press the button and you have this like swipe, and that's about it. Like basically how you would play with Lego figures. Just walk up and smash something with your lightsaber or something like that.
83 on Metacritic.
That's not bad. That's what I would expect out of one of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that it does not have online co-op, which is like, very disappointing.
Because they're promoting couch co-op, Daniel.
I get that, but you can also have the other one. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe the numbers aren't there.
I'm doing that in quotes. Because that's just the excuse.
Oh, I know you would much rather have online co-op. It's just, It's like, what if I'm deployed or
I'm in jail,
work remotely, or I'm in jail and I want to play with my kids over FaceTime or something like that? Like, I guess that's why you download it on Steam and then play that whatever their low latency co-op thing is. Like, I wish they just you didn't have to come up with some other way of doing it. You could just have it built in, but especially for a series as big as the Lego series. I guess that's my biggest thing. Like indie studios, I can kind of understand if you just don't have the manpower to pull that off. Understand. But come on.
I kind of wish that the big companies would do something for those studios. Like, hey, we'll help you with the online co-op. We'll have
like Microsoft and Sony, like here's the infrastructure for this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost kind of what it seems like Steam is attempting to do by circumventing that stuff. We shall see. But those are our new releases, Dominic.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. You got anything else for the week?
No, you got to start saying the adult games that be coming out every week.
Adult games? I got to find a resource for that. Do I go to
I think I got a site.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Okay. Dick Games.
What is it?
Dick Games. DIK Games.
Sure.
We got Last Hunter. But see, a lot of these things are just updates. I can't tell. Like, they've already been around. Like, Last Hunters, this is version 0.47.
Oh.
Lust Hunter. I said Last Hunter. Lust Hunter. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Harem Hotel.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. Ooh, Harem Hotel.
Crimson High. Say It Again. This is the final version.
The final release.
Gotta click down. Maids and Masters. And Hell Dictator.
Is it spelled DICK?
Yes, it is. MILF Resort.
MILF Resort.
Hot Springs Academy. Naked Ambition.
Oh.
Corruption of Champions 2. Lab Rats 2. What? This is Lab Rats, okay. Lustworth Academy. Rudy. I don't know. How It All Began. I think I heard of that. I think it's made by, because I think that's when I was playing Being a Dick. Those are some of the games people mentioned that were pretty good, but I was like, yeah, this pretty much, it ain't my type of thing. Isolated Pleasure. Slut Phone.
Slut Phone?
Yes. A Slut Phone. A Slut Phone, I'm sorry.
A Slut Phone. Oh, wow.
Unyielding. Wings of Silicon. Wings of Silicon. Dungeon Slaves, Champion Realms, Family at Home 2. Oh, dear Lord. A Wife and Mother. What? What's the rest of it? Fan? A Wife and Mother fan? Is that it? Fan game. Okay. Bastard Girls.
Bastard Girls.
Bastard Girls are. Okay. College Kings 2. Space Corps. Secret Cafe. Escort Agency 2. There's a lot of shit. Oh, look at this. Taboo Titans, which is the Teen Titans, though. It's Taboo Titans. Fresh Woman. There's a lot of good games. A lot of good games out here, Daniel. Look at all these games you miss.
What an incredible selection. That is a lot for 1 week, man.
Yeah, I think I was only on April 6th. I stopped.
Man, how do you get your game seen in such a sea of filth?
I have no idea.
How do you stand out, Dominic?
Gotta be like being a dick when it's like high quality.
Yep.
And actually have a story.
Yeah. That's incredible. All right, Dominic, did you have anything else for the people?
Nah, I think I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as links to all the other places you can find the audio version of the podcast, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all other podcast aggregators. Until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see ya.